Hi there. One of the pillars of the Church of Nowhere is antinatalism, as you probably know. But the question arises how to market antinatalism as a serious policy rather than just a satirical peg to hang your anger on. Um, and you basically have to keep the message very simple. Um, it's always, you want a simple message for simple people. And, when you think of Donald Trump, um, Mexicans are bad people. Mexicans are coming across the border. We'll build a beautiful wall to keep the Mexicans out. Very simple. And if they do build a wall in Arizona, which I think they are, the Arizonians can claim that they're doing it for safety reasons because there's people walking across the Arizona desert and dying. And because they don't have any ID, you can't even send their remains back to Mexico. I mean, and there's probably literally bodies strewn all over the desert. Want to prevent this, so we'll build a beautiful wall to stop the Mexicans coming across the border at Arizona. Anyway, again, simple message, simple reasons, common sense. It actually makes sense for safety reasons. You don't want people to die in the Arizona desert of dehydration. So you can actually say that you're being a good person. You're preventing death. So again, simple message from Donald Trump, and that's what he's good at. He's good at marketing a simple message to simple people, and to sophisticated people as well. Because sometimes a lot of sophisticates don't see the wood for the trees, and they sort of lose their sense of they lose their common sense because they're so ideologically prompted, and also because they're so bound by their liberal norms, values, and beliefs that they can't see the wood for the trees. So, very often, a lot of liberals can suddenly look at what Donald Trump is saying and say to themselves, he's got a point there, and that's why they probably voted for him, or some of them did anyway, because he just has a point. Now, I mean, you can argue against these points in a nuanced, philosophical way with lots of empirical evidence to back you up and statistics and all that. But some people kind of have this intuition that the simple solution to a problem is very often the best one. So that's an example of Donald Trump. An example of something which is going to be very hard to market is the Labour Party policy for the UK general election 2019, because the Labour Party has this strange policy of saying that we're going to have a soft Brexit, that is to stay in the common market and the customs union, on one hand, and then we're going to put this to a referendum, people's referendum, before we implement this soft deal that we've negotiated with the EU. I don't know what the EU is going to make of that. Not much, I would say. And people are just going to say, "We don't understand." It's too complicated. It's got two parts to it. It hasn't got goodies and baddies. It's a compromise position, and people just now say Labour Party hasn't got a policy on Brexit. Full stop. And that's a very simple message, simple belief that the Conservatives and the Brexit Party and other parties can put to the people on the doorstep as a campaign. I mean, I don't. People actually go to door in the British elections. I mean, I don't know if you Yanks do that, but that's what they do in Britain, in this country, and in Ireland as well. They go from door to door and speak to people on the doorstep. You probably couldn't do that in the USA because you'd just get yourself shot. But anyway, in certain areas of the USA, in any case. So, Labour Party's got a very, very unmarketable. I thought it was quite marketable, but I've changed my mind. They are going to get absolutely screwed because the Lib Dems are going to take votes from them. SNP is going to take votes from them. Brexit Party is going to take votes from the Labour Party. Plaid Cymru is going to take votes from the Labour Party in Wales. So poor old Labour Party are going to fall between several stools. and they'll be lucky to come out with with 100 seats left, which they normally have about 200 or something. They're going to have less than that, less than half the seats. So they're going to be annihilated, really. But anyway, that's just Brexit. The point about also, so you need to keep a message simple and straightforward. And really, the antinatalism message is very straightforward. You just, if you haven't had kids yet, you just say to yourself, I'm not going to have children in my life, okay? Number one. Number two, if I've got children now, I'm not going to have any more children. Number three, I'm going to educate my children, the children that I have got now, to not have children themselves, okay? Which is done in the home or in the school or some educational institution or something like that. And that's it. Why? Because there are too many people in the world, and there's loads of problems associated with overcrowding. And people say, what about the geriatrics? You're going to kill them off. And you just simply say, no, because the money that you would release from not having children, you could spend on geriatric care. So that answers that one, more or less, anyway. So again, a very simple message. You don't go into all the philosophy. You don't go on a big guilt trip about, you don't say, oh, I shouldn't have been born, or you shouldn't have been born, or that was, or my parents owe me for bringing me into such a terrible world. You don't go on about a terrible world. You could say this could be a good world, a depopulated world to be actually a better world. We'd all enjoy a better standard of living, etc., etc. So if you're going to say anything more than that simple message, you back it up by pointing out all the benefits. And people like benefits. They like to think that they're doing something good, something that will benefit themselves. You just present antinatalism in a simple way, in a positive way, rather than a sort of, we human beings are all evil and we should all become extinct. I mean, you don't mention the word extinction for a start. Okay, there's nothing about extinction, merely reducing the population. And that's how you do it. You don't have any children, and you tell your children, if you've got them, not to have children, and you just spread the message of that, of not having children, in a positive, friendly way. Also talking about sexuality and gayness and all this, and and gay rights and everything. I mean, as you say, if you no, you don't even mention abortion. Nothing like that. It's just population control. Too many people on the planet, start not having children. Okay, and people will respond to that simple positive message. It's like, don't drink and drive, don't smoke cigarettes. I mean, it took a while for people to get the idea. It's like, but I want to smoke cigarettes, or I want to drink and drive. I want to get in my car when I'm high as a kite. But now the normative feeling now in the USA and in Europe is that drinking and driving is a really, really bad idea, and it's really, really antisocial. Smoking, even at a bus stop, even in your own car with children around, is a very bad idea. It's just become a norm, a thing that people do, and I think people believe. I mean, there's probably no empirical evidence for any of it. Or the empirical evidence could be actually challenged by scientists all over the world. But like global warming, the belief in global warming, I mean, that's almost normative now. That's almost a mainstream belief. In fact, it probably is, really. Especially amongst most governments and scientists. So whether or not it's true, it doesn't really matter. The point is, people believe it's true. It's a core belief now of most societies in the West, and possibly in other countries in the world. It's just that other countries in the world are a bit flummoxed as to what to do about it, but they probably want to do something about it, all right, and they go to United Nations conferences on global warming and say they want to do something about it. But say they need help and time and all the rest of it. So you see, that was a simple message. You know, the planet's getting warmer. We're going to have flooding everywhere. It might be the end of the world, might be the extinction of the human race, and people, oh, don't want that. So, it's a simple message, isn't it? It's got to be true to. I mean, don't tell complete lies. But on the other hand, you can be a little bit sort of, not tell the whole truth, like, and you can sort of brush, you can tell little white lies, sort of thing, and no one really notice, and no one will hold it against you later. Do you know what I mean? Politicians' lies, I call them. Things that are not quite true, but almost true. Anyway, so, antinatalism is a perfect possibility. It has legislative potential. It has change taxation. Rules could be changed, social norms and beliefs could be changed, cultural attitudes could be changed, and certainly economics comes into it a lot. If you make it too expensive to have children, then and sort of sell that idea. Be careful not to say it's because you don't want poor people to have children. You've got to be very careful about saying that. Otherwise, you'll come unstuck with a lot of religions that actually back working class people, and the fact that it's natural and I want to have kids and you can't tell me not to have kids and all that. So you've got to be very careful how you do market antinatalism, but basically keep it simple, keep it straightforward, keep it non-philosophical, keep it non-nuanced, and don't tell the whole truth about the fact that you are actually wanting to depopulate the planet rather than population control. You don't sort of let that sort of come out too much. If people ask, then you can go into the whys and wherefores and the philosophical basis of antinatalism. But otherwise, a simple story for simple people, a simple injunction for the simple-minded works every time.